Hi everyone! Welcome to Ayana's Musings. Today we will be talking about our K1 visa timeline, the complete timeline, and discuss about the real cost. So this will be divided into two parts, the direct costs and indirect costs. Now if you're new here, all of the videos I've uploaded so far are directions, information that you need to know when you will apply or you want to apply for a K1 visa petition to come here to the United States, or if you have a US citizen fiancé. And so for today, after all the videos that I have uploaded, we will now come to an end to explain the entire timeline that I'll be sharing with you and the cost related to it. So let's begin. Alright, so as we all know, filing form I-129F, Petition for Alien Fiancé, is the first step in obtaining a K1 visa for a fiancé. Now, the goal is your US citizen fiancé will petition to establish a relationship to the USCIS and then intend to get you or to let you come to the United States and marry within 90 days. Now, in our case, it was on May 12, 2020 when we filed or sent our K1 visa petition to the USCIS lockbox. Next, now if you have filed everything all together, you will then receive your Notice of Action or NOAA 1. In our case, from May 12, we received our NOAA 1 on May 15 of 2020. Now, you have to save this important letter because this contains your 10-digit receipt number. That 10-digit receipt number will be used to check your status or case status online at the USCIS website. So usually it would start with WAC or other three, usually three-letter word, and then you can type that, and that's your receipt number to monitor your petition online. So approximately 8 months after the USCIS sent our receipt of notice, or that's NOAA 2, also called as the approval notice, on January 7, 2021. So within those months, within the 8 months, that's where the USCIS adjudicates the petition, which means they will check all the documents submitted. They will also check if you have established your relationship, that it's genuine based on the documents or attachment that you have presented. So in other cases, within those 8 months, instead of receiving your notice of approval or NOAA 2, you may receive an RFE, or that's the request for further evidence, if ever they want you to ask for more evidence in order to establish genuine relationship, or it can be that you were not able to submit certain things. So the USCIS can ask, like for example, to send more copies of these things or original document. It really depends. So in my case, we did not experience that, and we just receive our Notice of Action 2 or NOAA 2 approval notice 8 months after. So why am I establishing 8 months? So usually when you check the USCIS website and then you click on the form or what petition you submitted, they will give you an approximate of how long will they give you an update or an approval of your case. So if you can explore the website, in that case, during my time from 2020, it would take about 8 months. So actually nag-start siya from like a wait of 6 months, and then the pandemic happened, it extended until 8 months. So still it was within the case process, and so that's why from May we receive it approximately 8 months on January 7, 2021. Following that, on February 4, 2021, our case moved to the National Visa Center. That means the USCIS will then give it to the Department of State, specifically under the National Visa Center. Now, in our case, after receiving the approval notice or NOAA 2, we waited just in case, it will change or there be any movement immediately after the approval. But then if we thought about also being proactive, and that's why if you can go back to the previous 2 videos that I have uploaded, I have explained to you how we were able to get our case number when we wanted to expedite our case. So just to give an idea or a brief background that you can check out in my videos before, we inquired and received our case number through the public inquiry form of NVC. So it should be, I think that was Ask NVC public inquiry form, and they were responsive and gave us our case number. So usually that would reflect which country are you coming from and where did you file. So in my case, I did sa Philippines, so magsa-start siya in MNL. And then it may be different if you're coming from another country. So that was on February 4, 2021, where a case was moved to the National Visa Center. They did not reach out to us, but we reached out to them and asked for our case number. So from that, we were confident, not really confident, but we knew we were qualified to apply for an Expedite. So on March 6, 2021, we requested Expedite processing through NVC. And you can also see the specific details on how to do it in my previous video. I will also put that in the description box below. That's where we emailed NVC and attach necessary documents to prove or give information to support our Expedite request. Now, so in this case, it was really just on our initiative to check on for the criteria, and let's say you qualified, you could also do that. And so that's why it has a bit of like a gap from February to March that we decided to expedite, because we research and we check if we can do that. Another tip or information is that you can expedite usually sa NVC level instead of where you still your case is still with USCIS. So there's lesser chance, or maybe walang chance, if you want to expedite it when the USCIS level pa. That means if you're thinking after you file or you send out your packet, pwede na kayo mag-expedite. I don't think that's really reasonable, because they're still checking your case. They're still deciding if it's still, even qualified. But then when it reaches the NVC, that means USCIS already handles, give the documents to NVC. Then the NVC will communicate to US Embassy in your specific country and check again if you qualify for expedite, or they would receive those documents because they believe the grounds are valid for expedite. After that, on April 13, 2021, our expedite request was approved, and then the case was forwarded to US Embassy, Manila. Now, in this case, again, the communication is between the NVC and US Embassy, Manila. For the most part, you would say that your expedite request is approved, or you would know is when the NVC will reach out to you, or mostly to your fiancé, through the email provided, that they have approved your expedite request, and that they're already forwarding it to US Embassy, or to the US Embassy Manila, or respective country where you are coming from. So that's why, again, to give more information about that, I have included all the information and details in my previous video, and this is just going through the entire timeline to give you a brief idea. And then on April 22, 2021, US Embassy Manila notified us with our interview schedule. So in this case, when that already happens, that means na-receive na ng US Embassy yung documents niyo from the NVC. Or the US Embassy already received your packet or your documents from the NVC. So they have already mailed and forwarded all your documents, and it's already in your country of origin where you will have your interview schedule. Upon learning about that, I did a walk-in to have my medical appointment at SLEC, or at St. Luke's, on April 26 to 27. So even if it was a walk-in only, I registered ahead online through their website, and ang nangyari doon was that pinaka maagang schedule nila was already on May, something about May 20. So that's already after my interview. But as from what I've learned, you just need to register online and you can already walk in because they would have an idea na may mga expedite requests or people need to come back because they need a follow-up on their medical. So I would advise to really go there early if you're a walk-in. Kasi there's a different number for walk-in and there's a different number for those who are scheduled for the day. Usually, they will accommodate all everyone who's scheduled for the day, and then they will accommodate the walk-in. So in my case, I think I really went there, 6:30 was not early enough. Other people were already there and who got their number around 4 or even maybe 3. But that's fine for me because I know I still have, more time, and I took the time to really wait there until I would get my my medical. So I got the number and I waited, and then it was around 9 a.m. na nakapasok na ako inside SLEC, and then did all my registration in the first floor. And then I can't really explain the full detail, but specifically, it's very easy if you're there already because in every floor, there's open communication from all the staff and they will instruct you what you need. What I do want to let you know is that you can pay there. They have their specific cashier. I'm not sure which floor, but I would also advise you to bring the exact amount. Later on, we will talk about the expenses. But yeah, mostly exact amount or at least the enough amount that's for your medical appointment. So why 2 days, 26 or 27? The first day would be your overall checkup. That would involve your chest x-ray, that would involve all from the different departments that you need to be checked. And then after you will be, after you were done with all the medical, they will advise you to come back again because it's most likely you would be finished after lunch. And so there's the vaccine department where you have to qualify for the different shots that would be given to you will be given the following day, mostly because they're only available, I think, around 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. It depends. And so they will advise you to come back the following day. And also, I believe if sinabi na nila na you will be having your vaccine the following day, that means you're good to go. You will not undergo sputum kasi that's if I know some of you are familiar about it. Sometimes a chest x-ray because they're very strict about TB and all related to that. Babalik sila to do their sputum test and that would take another month or like probably six months. I'm not really familiar. But that's one of the cue. If pababalikin ka nila for vaccine the following day, that means you're already cleared. But I would advise you, if you are still undergoing the process and going through the medical soon, go check their website. I believe there are other additional information, especially for COVID protocols. So this was my experience on April 2021. So basically early of last year. So I would advise to really check in again and to gather more information about this. So on the following day, you will have your vaccine and they will give you this brown envelope that I believe contains all the necessary information, but you're advised not to open it. So if they tell you not to touch it and open it, don't. Because then on May 6, 2021, that was the schedule of my K1 visa interview at 8:05 in the US Embassy Manila. So I arrived there an hour early outside to line up and get ready. And I was just very careful to be there just in case may nakalimutan. I can still go back as fast as I can. I live in Pasay, so the embassy was just a 20-minute taxi with traffic. But if walang traffic, that's just around 15 or 10 minutes for me. But I wanted to be sure and I wanted to be in line early for me na, not to be anxious. And so I especially brought with me whatever documents that I have. So to go back with what I said before, it's either they will give you a brown envelope kung makakaya, or usually on the second day when you go back for your vaccine, they will tell you that they will be the one who is going to forward your medical, the brown medical envelope. Either way, if they do say that, they will do that. It really depends on how it will go with the communication, on how early or late you able to do your medical at SLEC. But if it's your interview and you did your medical already and hindi kayo pinabalik for sputum, then go for it. I will not go deeper into talking about my interview experience and interview appointment because I have explained that in my previous videos as well. So please do check that. But then after I did my interview, siguro I went inside around, I think I was around 7:30 or close to, 7:30. Pumasok na ako, and because there's still waiting line inside. But since I would tell you when it says 8:05, that's also exactly the time that my consul called me and, announced my name over the megaphone. Not really a megaphone, but there's a speaker in the interview area before you go to the different windows. It was exactly 8:05. And so I did that interview, and I think I went out of the embassy around between 9 to 9:30. And then I came home, and because you're not allowed to bring your phone, so I did not have that. But when I came home, my SLEC status changed immediately to administrative processing, or you would also hear a lot saying AP, naka-AP na yung SLEC status mo. So I would say don't freak out. It's normal. Obviously, after your interview, it would go through different, administrative processing. At first, medyo natakot ako if was there something wrong? But no, because they did not tell anything. They didn't tell me anything. They just told me to wait until my visa arrived. So I put that in my mind because it took some time for me. So that was from May 6 to May 17. I kept on checking every day, sometimes every hour, and then every 3 hours until I just relaxed and waited for it to change. So as you can see, that's beside this, you will see how it would look like in your SLEC website when you check using your case number. Nakalagay dyan, administrative processing or AP. Alright, and finally, on May 18, 2021, my SLEC status changed to issued. So that means my K1 visa is finally there. It's issued. Wala nang problema. And after I checked that it says issued, I immediately monitored and tracked at the To-Go website. And then in my case, I intend to pick it up at To-Go MOA because it's super close to me, pwedeng walking distance lang. What I did was that on the same day, I called in and asked To-Go if my, if my mga US, if the passports are already there, or kasi naka-bulk minsan yan, especially if it's scheduled to be given or distributed to To-Go, and people also wanted to pick it up there. And so they said, it's not yet here, because I'm guessing it's just the same day na change na ng status and they're still maybe loading up the truck for them to put or deliver it to To-Go MOA.